Hey y'all. I'm a pretty big Marvel fan. I like most of the movies. I grew up with them. You know, big fan. Fuck Scorsese. But I gotta say, these new movies suck. So I was like, damn, those older movies, they probably still tight. That's what I says. They's probably still tight. And I'll go back. Fam, these movies always kind of sucked. I'm telling you. I know it hurts to hear. These movies, just a little bit, suck. I'm going to start with phase one. Just talk about phase one. What you got in phase one? You got Iron Man. You got Incredible Hulk. You got... I'm sorry. My chest is caving in. You got Iron Man 2. You got Thor. Right. You got I'm sorry, my chest is caving in. I just need to get through this sentence. You got Captain America, the First Avenger, and then finally you got Avengers. 6 movies. All right, let me break them down for you. It's a good start. Iron Man is good. And it's a real movie. What do I mean by that? Well, it's got action scenes. It's got people talking in a room, right? But even more, it's got scenes where the character, at least one character, grows and develops as Tony does when he's building things, hosting press conferences, talking to Pepper Potts, talking to Ironmonger Stain. Character growth is happening. It's a good movie. It's perfect. I love it. And at the end, I felt something. Like I'd been through a journey. Like I was inspired. I was inspired to be Iron Man in my own life. To think about my own legacy and to be selfish in my own way. I was inspired. It was beautiful. So, good start, Marvel. And what were they up against? They were up against The Dark Knight, which was also realistic and grounded in its own way. That was their competition since Batman Begins, since the X-Men trilogy. They wanted something grounded but likable, a nice action comedy, and they got it. Well, okay, it wasn't a comedy per se, but it had jokes. It was good. It was inspiring. So next, is Incredible Hulk. Something I liked as a kid because I was stupid. I was drugs for brains. Metaphorically speaking. The metaphor being that I was on drugs, when in reality, I was only on speed. So, Incredible Hulk. Was it good? If you're drugs for brains, it's great. It's amazing. Incredible. If you're an adult who is thinking clearly, it is trash. It is bad. Like, peep this. Everyone rails on the Hulk for being a simp right now, right? A total soy boy beta cuck is what Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is right now, right? Well, imagine if he was that, but not funny, not charismatic, and everything he did was just for some girlfriend, never to redeem himself. He literally just lived for no reason. That is Edward Norton's Hulk. You know why they picked Edward Norton? Because he was in Fight Club, and they were like, wow, let's do Fight Club, but with the Hulk. Let's bring Fight Club energy to the Hulk. Guys, he already did Fight Club. Why would he want to do it again, but not as fun? It's not as fun, okay? And the Hulk doesn't even feel that real. Like, the action sucks, except at the end. The main girl sucks. Liz Osborne, whatever her name is. The villains are so, like, they talk like stereotypical villains from every comic book and every dollhouse you've ever set up. You know, I'm telling you, if somebody knew what I know now when I was watching this movie, I am hoping they would have sent me to a mental asylum. It is that bad. It is trash. Okay? Incredible Hulk. Don't see it. The Hulk doesn't even look real. Okay? There's also way too much fan service. I don't care about the original Hulk movie, the original Hulk show, or referencing the pants several times, like how stretchy the pants are. Like, nobody cares, okay? What is the Italian pizza guy doing? You know, I was interested in that. Could I get Italian Guido's story, the pizza man? Could I get more of him? Apparently not. Whatever. So Marvel realizes they fumbled, okay? Their condom broke. They knew it, okay? So what do? They take 2 years off. And they're like, we got to make the next one passable. The last one, we were also going for passable, right? And the last one, I guess, was, you know, there was some elements of a romance in there, just a little bit. But otherwise, you know, just really generic action movie. This one, they're like, oh, man, we can't afford to lose money. How are we going to squeeze out more money? You know, we teased Avengers twice. Like the scene with Robert Downey Jr. wasn't an end credit scene. It was literally the last scene of our movie last time. Oh, we know it's so bad. Please give us more of your money. You know, that's what they were doing. So they wait a little while. 2 years they wait to bring out Iron Man. You know, they talk to amazing director Jon Favreau. And they're like, you got a script? And he's like, yeah, it's amazing. It's incredible, you know. Straight from Ayn Rand novels, which you know, so many people love. And they're like, all right, okay, now here's some setup for Avengers. You're going to put this in the movie. He's like, what? They're like, yeah. It's an Iron Man movie, and it's a commercial for Avengers. That's what Iron Man 2 is. So he's like, no, I gotta tell a real story like last time. And they're like, but we're paying you, so no. He's like, oh, fine, all right, fine. So we got a normal story, right, about Iron Man dying, right? Then we got a story about him losing in court. Then we got one about him fighting some maniacs over, you know, like them having similar property to him, like them showing him up, and the military attacking him, and S.H.I.E.L.D. wanting him to uncover his dad's, you know, secret element. And there's just all these little things going on. And also we got to set up Black Widow, who's just not very good in this movie. But, she exists, I mean, her action scene's pretty good, but, ScarJo is not doing super duper well as she could. So, that's the movie. It's a 2-hour long-ish commercial for Avengers. And, it's not really a real movie, is what I'm trying to say. It's pretty good. It's not a real movie. The villains suck this time, Obadiah, from the first movie, he was a little dumb, But for the most part, he was fine, It was good. These new ones, they're just like, they're weak. They're going for jokes. Justin Hammer making lots of jokes. I could hear the boomers laughing behind me. So yeah, that was Iron Man 2. Played it safe, made their money. Good for them. Yeah, so they set up another movie after that. What is it? It's Thor. Fucking love Thor as a kid. I was like, fuck yeah. Yeah, It's the myths. The myths are coming to life, yeah. That was me as a kid. I was like, yeah, it's real. It's freaking real. Yeah. And just watching it recently, I was like, wow. Thor, like the Hulk, is a giant simp. Like, literally, he only sees good because of some woman. And, she's kind of mid, Like, Natalie Portman's good, but, like, not, I don't know, not, like, he kind of, she just, out of nowhere made him not racist, it was just so hard to believe, Like, he was a huge racist. And then, like, suddenly he's like, whoa, racism? Not okay, guys. So, I was like, wow. I was a full-on retard, wasn't I? This movie's retarded. What I totally missed, like, it's barely a fantasy movie. It's definitely more of a rom-com, shot in, Albuquerque, New Mexico, where Breaking Bad happened. Yeah, it's fine, Yeah, they could have done a little more, They could have asked some real, I don't know, pre-modernists how to make the movie, real Arthurian scholar types. I don't know. Could have had more meaning to it, more weight to it. I'm a big Thor fan, Not just from this movie, but it just, growing up, you drop the rose-colored glasses, you realize you grew up. It's, like, all my friends left me, and, that certain other person left me. You just, this movie took a lot from me, So, anyways, again, Natalie Portman, totally mid, and big booby actress. She was okay, like, she, did rom-com things, jokey jokes. It was all right. Yeah. I'm gonna say it's almost a real movie. More than Iron Man, not too much of an advertisement. Yeah, later that year, Captain America: First Avenger came out, another action movie of sorts. Not only playing off the superhero genre, but the military genre as well. A lot of action movies do that nowadays, I guess. Ads for the military. And Captain America is really good. I mean, like, it plays it safe like the other ones. And it's definitely product of its own time in a way. Because, like, this time, like, not only is the girl still mid, but and not only is she like Pepper Potts doing, like given things to do just for the sake of having something to do, kind of like and again, like when Pepper Potts did stuff in the Iron Man movies, it was literally just to make her character look good and not useless, but not really needed to advance the plot. And Haley Atwell's, Peggy Carter, same thing, kind of, except she's a little more annoying about it. Like, yeah, a little more entitled, a little bit more than the other women. I don't want to keep hating on the women here, but they just, they don't really top Pepper as much, Pepper was the one really solid one, Jane Foster was, she needed to be there for sure. But the others, like, yeah, I'm not so sure, They just kind of threw that in. The other women in there just to kind of like give the female audience something to latch onto, but like, try to appeal to as many people as possible. You know how it is. You know how it is trying to appeal to as many people as possible. That's how they did it. That, by giving relatable women, but also, taking all the men's shirts off, that's how they do it. That's how they do it. So, yeah, Haley Atwell. It's a little annoying. And when Captain America said, I was waiting for a dance, that was a good line. But then I was like, there's probably better people in the future. A little less annoying, Like, her kicking a guy in the balls, totally cool. The guy was out of line. Yeah, and kick him in the balls, do it. But, everything else was like, wow, you're really presumptuous, aren't you? You're really asking for a lot in the military, a little bit, just a little bit, Yeah, otherwise she was fine. Steve, a bit of a simp still. But Steve had a good heart though, and like, everything in that movie up until like he frees the soldiers, just pretty perfect. Red Skull, a little underutilized in that movie. That's what it feels like. Like, oh man, will he come back for the sequel? Do other stuff? Not really. Didn't do that. No, the sci-fi in that movie, it feels almost a little tacked on. Like when I saw it first couple times, I was like, yeah, sci-fi. But now I'm like, man, why not just something straight military genre? Because everything after the salvation moment, Steve gets recognized by the world at that point when he saves everybody. But they want to set up some other things, so they keep trotting the movie along. They want to do a couple things. One, showcase the Howling Commandos. Two, kill off Bucky to set him up for the sequel, but also set up Captain America's character. Three, they want Arnim Zola captured, so maybe Hydra can exist in the future. Four, they want Cap to fight Red Skull. Even though, you're not really sure what he has to prove. I mean, I guess you want to see Red Skull be killed, but, the emotional train has kind of slowed down at that point. The impact has slowed a little bit since Steve is already recognized by the world. 5, you want Steve to land in the ice. And 6, you want the Cosmic Cube to land in the ice. And 7, you want Red Skull gotten rid of, so there are no loose ends, right? So they do that all at once, and they do it really nice, really tightly knit. Again, great last scene. It almost feels like an advertisement, just the way it's kind of strung together. Because, emotionally, that's the least impactful way they could have ended it, I think. Emotionally. Otherwise, fine. Kind of safe. Speaking of villains, Loki, also great. I feel like just the way he's introduced in the first movie, very subtle, Inverse of Thor, very good. Yes. And finally, Avengers, the big one. And it's not just an action movie. It is, like Thor, and I guess like Iron Man 2, an action comedy. And does it do what Captain America 1 does and Iron Man 1 does? Does it actually have dramatic scenes outside of just random fighting and exposition dumps? Does it have more than just a tacked on beginning and a tacked on ending? Maybe it has people working on stuff in between, like in Iron Man 2, cool stuff like that. Or yeah, it's got all that stuff. Yeah, and the characters mesh well together. Loki's pretty good. A lot of good lines. It feels pretty meaningful. Maybe not as strong as Iron Man 1. Is it better than First Avenger? Just a little bit, yeah. Yeah, just a little bit. It's organic. It's novel. It's a good new experience. It's cathartic in its own way. Yeah. People say it hasn't aged well. It's still kind of like a Power Rangers movie in a lot of ways. Just the way they kind of come together and they got their little suits on and they're like, yeah, we gotta fight the aliens, guys. Yeah. Yeah. So is Marvel bad? Marvel has been bad since 2008. It has always been bad. Do you think it's bad now? It's always been bad. The only difference is the audience has changed. It's not the audience for action movies 12, 15 years ago, okay? It's the audience for people who watch TikTok right now, okay? But it was still just it's almost like maybe the stories are still real, most of them. Again, Iron Man 1, Captain America 1, Avengers. All 3 of those are real movies. Iron Man 2 and Thor, are almost real movies, but they're still like, well, okay, no, not Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 is not a real movie because, like, he barely has a real arc in there. And all the other characters, like, they just stand around doing nothing except talking, okay? And Thor is, it's still competent, Iron Man 2, again, not a real movie. Incredible Hulk, a real movie, and it's bad, okay? So just